Yeah,
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm feeling I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's been a pretty eventful day so far, and it's been good,
What you
man.
been doing?
It's been good. I took a couple calls, and we have like a new offer that we are giving to artists to help them kind of like set up their music business.
Okay, is that what you've been talking about in the shows and
Their
stuff? Is that that aspect?
Set up their music business. All right, Ace of
Okay, is
Spades,
that what you've been talking about
go
in the
ahead and
shows and
introduce
stuff?
yourself, man. Let everybody know who you are, where you're from, what it is you do.
I'm Ace of Spades. I am from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and I am a rapper slash producer beat maker, I guess you
Awesome,
call it. That
awesome.
would be myself. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what else do you do besides rap and make beats? What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, as far as like my 9 to 5, I get up and I go to my work. It varies really as far as like, outside of work. I'll get up, maybe I'll exercise, I'll go to work, but then I'll come home, make some music, try and write some rhymes. Always try and stay active with the music, just keep the brain fresh and stuff. Whether it's just a rhyme or a beat or just try and like come up with concepts or flows in my head. And that's spend a lot of my time doing that. But
That's awesome.
yeah,
Anyone that
yeah.
is here in the chat, I see there's some people in the chat. If you guys got any questions or anything and you want to ask, just jump in the chat. This is an interactive interview. Ace of Spades, man, go ahead and tell us about your first release.
My first release was February 20th, I believe, and it was called I Don't Even Think, and it was a collection of three verses that I wrote like 15 years ago when I started like messing around with music and I didn't take it seriously and I was doing drugs and drinking and I was just misguided and I didn't really know where I was going in my life and I just kind of just a lot of like mental health and anxiety and making silly choices and dumb mistakes and it took like 15 years for me to finally like overcome and like sink into like who I need to be and how to do it. And then I decided my first song would be three verses that I really liked from back then that I just kind of amalgamate into one beat, which the beat too, well, the main like the is it the chorus? I think the verse part, I forget, I can't picture it in my head right now, but one I think it was the verse was made 15 years ago, and then the chorus and the rest of it I kind of made recently. I mean, there are a few additions to the verses and stuff, but it was generally from way back when. And
What's the what's the dumbest mistake you ever made?
dumbest mistake I ever made. Hmm.
I'm going off of you said that you made a lot of dumb decisions and silly mistakes. So I just want to know the dumbest decision you ever made. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I figured it'd be pretty fun to talk about.
I I don't know if I have like one single mistake. It was just like a lot of I should have done this, I should have done that. Like I shouldn't have been going out to drink on the weekend. I probably should have been like practicing at baseball when I was playing. I probably shouldn't have got mad at my friends or my parents. I probably shouldn't have, you know, chose the easy route. Really, is what it is, right? And I'm sure too with the drugs, right? It'll kind of guide you in a different direction. You choose that like instant gratification, and then for me, it just built up over the years and like the decades, or
Terrence
decade and a
Metro
half.
Beats. Terrence Metro Beats said, "What's up, Ace of Spades? How you doing, my brother?" Vault House
Good man, how
Nine.
you doing?
Vault House 9 said, "Gotta hit the bottom to get to the top." Poker Face said,
That,
"Glad you bounced back." And Wiggy Beats
thank you.
said, "What's up, Ace of Spades?"
I apologize for the Instagram. I don't know what was going on. The video eventually started working, but there's no audio, so I don't know
They
what the
probably
issue
weren't
with
even
that
on
was.
Instagram. They probably didn't even see that.
That
So I'm
was all
glad
I
that you
got.
gave us some insight. I feel like that's powerful though, because like a lot of us chase that instant gratification, really in the moment, and kind of not realize what we're doing and how we're affecting our future. And then it's like 15 years later, we think about it like, man, maybe I should have like maybe I should have took baseball a little bit more serious. You know, maybe I should have took this a little bit more serious, or maybe I should have cared more about my relationship. So, yeah, man, that's awesome.
But
So let's switch gears a little bit. Tell us about some of your musical influences.
well, initially I'll go back to like when it first like actually began. I remember, do you know the movie The Rock with Sean Connery and Nick Cage from like 1996?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The Rock
Okay,
was
well,
like an
it's like the
island, right?
movie. What's up?
The Rock was like an island, right?
Yeah, they're on like Alcatraz,
Yeah.
the prison that used to be there, and so that movie had a soundtrack. It was produced by Hans Zimmer. He's like a huge score composer, and I think it was about 8 or 9 at the time. And I heard the soundtrack, a lot of like orchestral instruments and all kinds of stuff, and it's it literally it might have been the first thing I ever wanted to be. Like after hearing that, I was like, oh my God, like I want to be a score composer when I grow up. And then it just kind of floated in my head. It was like nothing serious. And then it wasn't too much later, but DMX, I was at my cousin's and he was playing It's Dark and Hell is Hot. You remember that? And then the first song, the intro song, and it came on, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, it's like some crazy like hard movie beat, and then he was going on, and then the last line, whatever it was, something like something I don't know, something you don't know, I'm a problem, some DMX. What is it? I'm gonna rob you. That DMX is a motherfucking problem. And initially, like rob you and problem don't technically rhyme, but when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, like I fucking love rap. So ever since then, I just it was like DMX, the Locks, and then Eminem has been like overall my biggest musical influence, especially as far as rap goes. But that was kind of like that's mainly the story, you know.
Locks was
And
my favorite when I was about 13,
yeah,
13 to 15. It was just, or no, maybe it was like 12 to 14. It was like Locks, Rough Riders, like age 11 to 13, and then 13 like
so,
Lil Wayne and Triple Six Mafia, and like I had different stages, but yeah, Locks is definitely one of my inspirations as well.
same here. And I mean, it's not just Hans Zimmer and rap. I love everything, but it's mainly it's weird because most of the rap I like is Eminem, or it somehow goes back to him, like 50 Cent, Obi Trice, D12, Ti. Like they've done a feature with them. That's kind of like where my rap interests fall. And I like a lot of like oh, Katy Perry. I love Rihanna, Taylor Swift, all that. Found a couple of my favorite songs off your show. There was Stephanie Hayden there. She put her CD out. I forget what was the name. I'm Not Okay. That's one of my favorite songs. Sarah Cornelia from the show. That 19. Did you listen to that?
I listened to
Remember
the
you?
song that she submitted on the show, but
Yeah. I fucking love that song. That's like I love that. It makes me feel so warm. I love that.
but
Love it.
like you know, I get like a lot of submissions on the show, and um, I listen to a lot of artists because of like the show. So like it is great to be able to discover artists that you would have never discovered before, and for that to be like my job is like pretty amazing. And like
I
I'm
know.
just happy that like not only happy that I get to discover music and share music from an artist, but like even for you hitting me up that day, like yo, like I found one of my new favorite songs on your stream, like that's an awesome feeling as well to know that I'm introducing people to new music that they'll listen to forever. It's like it's great.
It's just a wonderful environment. Every like I remember I told you it was like the environment is like better than really anywhere I've ever even really come across in my life. You know, it's just so peaceful and constructive, and everything is just like right when you're there. Right, it's just a warm, loving environment where artists can grow, and you're just like it's even helping you like with life lessons. Just
Right.
everyone's being nice and teaching correctly, right, instead of being assholes and you know. So that's just a warm environment.
Poker Face said Ace is a Swifty.
I am a Swiftie, like Taylor Swift. But I know you like Christian music, right? That's your thing. Is that your big thing, Christian music? You're saying?
Well, not like necessarily my big thing, but it's just like I'm at a point in my life where like I'm very aware of the stuff that I let influence me, and I know that like the music that I grew up listening to and the type of music that I like, which is rap music. Um, I know that that stuff will influence me. Listen to it. So like I try to listen to, worship music and things like that. Just to, I don't find myself listening to music a whole lot because like I get my fix of music on the show. But like say I'm in the car driving, I'll put on some worship music. Or like if I choose to listen to music while I work out, which I don't too often, I used to listen to like heavy metal and stuff like that when I would work out, but now I listen to worship music. I just, I try to keep the positive vibes going in.
Have you heard of I Am They?
I am they. Maybe like if they're popular and like they got a song on Christian radio, I may have heard it.
No, they're a Christian group. I found them on YouTube. They're amazing, amazing songs, tons of amazing songs. And
Yeah,
every time I come across a Christian song, especially if it has like somewhat of a pop rhythm to it, I love them. Like it's weird. Like they're amazing.
yeah. Send me the link and I'll definitely
Yeah,
check
I'll,
them
I'll
out
send
for
that
sure.
record.
So
Yeah,
like
for sure.
what is your like short term and long term goal with your music? Like what's tell us the vision.
I mean, the most basic, simple, silly way I can put it is to make music so I can make a bunch of money so I can just make music forever. But I guess the bigger picture is that, obviously I hope I make it big, but through that, then there's a lot of opportunity to help others through my success, right?
Hmm.
So I've been through a lot of mental health issues and just I know what it's like to just at least be emotionally just destroyed and to be able to have a platform where I can kind of just spread peace and lessons that I've learned through whether it's just videos and the music and just to help people grow past what they're going through or just not make the same silly choices that I did as to where it might ruin their life and to know I could help them or save their life that is that's a big part of it that
I always told myself that like if I make a song and like it helps one person like get through something or you know think
and
or whatever, I feel like that's a success, even if it's only just one song. I made this one song and like this dude hit me up. He's like, "Bro, like I was like working out the other day and your song came on and like I was doing an uphill run and like I was so ready to give up. But then that little part at the end of your song came on, bro, and it just like pushed me through to the end of the workout, bro." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a win right there."
yeah that's yeah it's a good feeling I've had a few of those people just help them be more positive. That's
So I have a question, man. Like, what? So like I've heard both of your songs, and they're both like 7 to 10 minute songs. Like, what's up with that, man?
those so the first one wasn't I don't know remember the I don't even think that crazy one.
Well, yeah, wasn't it
The,
like 10 minutes or something?
no, that was that. The first one was that. I was like 4.5 minutes or something. The second one, Find Myself, was like 9. I don't know. So initially, that song was written. There's like a huge backstory behind it, but I started writing that way back when I was kind of just doing it as a hobby, and I came up with the first few lines and the initial like main melody of it, and the years just went by, and then never did anything with it. And then the past year, it might have been last summer, I started writing to it, and I came up with the first three verses, and it was good. It was like a good cohesive song, and it had a good message. But then one day, I just kind of had a spark to write more to it, and it kind of went off the rails, but in a good sense. And I started talking about all kinds of weird shit, and it still kind of fit the mold of overcoming and finding yourself. And and that last verse just took it from like a normal length song to a 9 minute song. I had the outro and everything, so that just kind of happened. The last one, I felt without the outro, it just wasn't wouldn't be the same. But nor the next ones aren't. I recorded almost a full song today. That's like normal length, like 4 minutes. The next one, most of them aren't gonna be huge songs. And I told the mixer too because I sent him that. And he's like, "Damn, there's like 70 tracks." He's like, I forget the exact words, but something. I don't want to sound a fucking artist. But yeah, just 'cause those two kind of happened, and I don't know, most of them will be like that, but it's good
Well,
every now and
man,
then.
I'm glad that we got to get on here. I know we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but I for sure enjoyed chopping it up with you. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find your music and anything you want to leave us with.
You can find my music. It's on YouTube. It is on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud, Apple Music. It's on really everything. Everything DistroKid lets you put it on, it's gonna be on. And I'll put the links in the comments later, unless you do it. But um, yeah, there's nothing to leave you with, man. It was fun, man. I love your show, and you like I know I don't know you much, but it's like a weird spiritual connection. You're such like a peaceful guy and a good dude, and it's nice to have found you in the show, and it's
I
just a
appreciate you,
wonderful
man. It's
yeah.
crazy because like even though we don't know each other in real life, I feel like I know you just because of all the
Yeah.
time you spend on the show. And like the same goes for a lot of people that come on the show as regulars, like Vault House 9, Wiggy Beats. Like I feel like I know them because we spend so much
Robbie,
time together on the stream in the chat. It's like I feel like I got a
Robbie Mack.
connection with so many people I've never even met. It's crazy.
I've been chatting with Robbie Mack a bit on SoundCloud, just kind of shooting the shit, mostly about music, but talking about life, and he seems like a good dude, and it's just I've had nothing but good vibes from your show, man.
Well, man,
But
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the time to chop it up. I'm glad that we got to know each other a little bit better. And I'll see you on the show
so,
tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming and checking out my boy Ace of Spades. Make sure you guys go check out his music. His links will be in the comments. Have a good day, Ace.